Yo, what's up guys, Shinigami here, just thought, why not do this Q&A thing, and yesterday I asked a question like, well, what questions do you have for me? And today I'll be answering them, so I got 7 comments and I'll be going through them all. Starting off, we have another YouTuber, Mr. Oikalkos. By the way, creates, well, I wasn't supposed to actually click on the video, but makes great content, definitely recommend checking their channel out. They made this video, for example. Very nice. But yeah, he has 2 questions for us. What's my favorite movie, if any, and are there any other TCGs that you play or might consider picking up? So, for the movie part, yes, definitely is. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, I believe I've used some assets for it in a few videos before, visually at least. I think it's a really great movie, I think it's a cool movie. It might not be, well, objectively good, but I enjoyed it a lot. I first watched it when I was very, very young. I don't know how young. Rewatched it over the years a few times, and even to this day, I think it holds up in a fun way, It's still an enjoyable movie, great soundtrack. Often when people talk about weeaboos stuff, usually what brings them to that is anime. For me it was more Tokyo Drift, made me interested in the country, I would say. Anime only came years and years later. It also influenced my opinion on cars in stuff like racing games, Traditionally I went for American Muscle after watching Tokyo Drift 1 or 2 times. I opted for other cars. So yeah, the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, the 3rd entry, which I know isn't even that popular by fans, but well, to each your own, I suppose. As for TCGs, strictly physical TCGs I don't play any. Online I've played Hearthstone for a few months, I've actually stopped playing it recently, but I did play it. Regular Hearthstone and Battlegrounds. Face Hunter, if anyone was wondering. Am I considering picking any up right now? Not really. I might consider Magic the Gathering due to how popular it is and how easy it is to find places to play. Easier than Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think I'll just stick to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, well, I have a channel based around Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Yeah. Next up, Ventrix. What's your opinion on the current state of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the current state of meta decks, the just sheer amount of hand traps, and the fact that a lot of decks, even new decks, aren't playable since Konami just abandons them, even though they had nice mechanics? Just sorry for the long question. So I think the new decks thing Konami has been getting a bit better at, most of the recent reveals at least. Recent archetypes, especially the Abyss archetypes, tend to be at least somewhat competitive. Then there's of course very mediocre stuff like Shari archetype that just don't, well, hold up. But it's at least something that I've been kind of trying to get better at, it seems. Generally, the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not positive about. If you've been to my channel before, you should know this. I'm not the biggest fan of negates being easily accessible. I'm no fan of how long combo decks, well, usually play on average. And despite not being anti-hand trap, I want Maxi back. I think the need to play hand traps is kind of messed up. My biggest issue with hand traps is that there's no skill involved. It's just literally do you draw them or not. There's no bluffing with actual back row, It's the face and spell or anything. Hand traps is just an outright guessing game, and I don't think that adds skill to a game that's inherently RNG based. And I don't like that. I think the game in general is in a very, very bad state, and it's only getting worse and worse. Nothing does seem to improve health-wise, but that's something I've just accepted. I mean, look at my content, how many videos are there of me actually dueling? Yeah. I'll just consider it a chill game to play at like locals, and the competitive side of the game is dead to at least me. Not saying Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying here, just saying there's no point. The game isn't fun. The game is poorly designed, poorly managed. Yeah, current state of meta decks I can barely even talk about because I just don't care about the meta game. But yeah, I definitely think it would be nice for it to go back like 10 years in time, Not Code Control era, Total Monkey decks and stuff. When, just having some kind of protection or something on a boss monster and just having that on the field with a few back row was, the main game plan of everyone. It was fun, it was more fun. People say nostalgia and stuff, but really, formats were better back then. So Decathlon, another great YouTuber, great content creator. Yeah, makes great content as well, shouts to them. Been a avid supporter of my channel for a long while. What do you think the next summoning mechanic will be, and what would you like it to be if you could create it? None, just none. I hope we don't get another summoning method. Another summoning method would, well, kill Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe the wrong word, but I think it's too much. Like, we already have too many summoning methods, so my answer is none. So yeah, if I could create one, either one so bad that nobody will play it, so you don't need to play it, so you don't need to know it. If you were to allow me to answer this question a bit of a different way, because I really just don't see a place for another summoning method, that's it. I don't have any concrete ideas. But I would however like to add to the game, if we are adding anything, is skills from Duel Links and stuff. I think those could be interesting for the main game. I was expecting the new Master Rule before 7th game to be that. You know, where, for example, you have an Amazonas skill at the start of the duel, add an Amazonas queen to your hands or something, I don't know. That kind of thing, you know? Printing those physically could be very interesting. It would be great for Konami, you know? People need those cards. Links and Pendulums can opt out of playing those skill cards. You want the good skill cards, you know? It's a good decision for Konami to make money as well. But I think it could be an interesting element for the game. But yeah. If I were to add anything, I would add that. But honestly, I think the game, if anything, needs some kind of soft reset instead of adding more stuff to it. It's already way too complicated. Superior. Crazy. Red Dragon Outfit Week feels like it was last year or something. I'll see myself out of the door. Damn you, bad pun. Reminder that in a few weeks, Junk Doppel Week is coming up. Synchron Week, whatever you want to call it. As the USA song starts playing in Spotify. Great. Cake Kennel. Do you play Duel Links? And if you do, what is your favorite character to use? I've played Duel Links a few times in the past, however, I'm not planning to ever return. Reason for this is simple. If you create a new account and you want to do this duel puzzles, you need to do like 250 duel puzzles, 100 trial deck duels. Those numbers sound like exaggerations, but go ahead and count them, there's way too many. If you want to remotely get to a deck, well, you basically need to do those. Cross-platform is also a negative side for this game. If you're playing on PC and playing against mobile phones, especially if somebody's from like a country with bad internet, the duel start feeling very laggy. Plus the format itself feels too much like Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! There's been too much power creep in Duel Links. I liked it pre-Synchro era. Synchro didn't really influence the game, and then Xyz era came, and afterwards we just got power creep and power creep. No, even before that we already had power creep. Yeah, I think Duel Links is in a bad state, besides that it's insanely pay to win. I've talked about this before on my channel, I think. Decks usually are way more expensive than in real life, unless you save gems, and the economy system of Duel Links is very flawed, so it's hard to save up for decks and stuff. Yeah, I don't like Duel Links at all. I think it has a bad business model, and in general it's just not a good game at all. However, my favorite character to use was probably... I think I used Kali the most, with Fortune Lady skills, multiple times. So, there's your answer. Cream asked, what do you think will happen to Yu-Gi-Oh! In 5 years' time? So, we're currently in a state of the world where things are very unpredictable due to a certain thing happening, preventing any YCS from happening and stuff. I'm not sure if I should be naming it because of YouTube rules and stuff, but you know what I mean. Depending on that, a lot of things can change, you know. Going forward, not having locals and stuff for a physical card game is a bit annoying. Remote duels are a very, very bad band-aid fix for this. I don't consider them legit events for tops and stuff. Like, if you topped a physical locals or you won a YCS that's remote, I respect the local stop more, honestly. Might be a personal thing, I don't respect remote duels actual dueling at all. It's pathetic if you ask me. On top of that, we're waiting on Master Duels to release. Depending on how that game does and how greedy Konami is with that game, a lot of things change as well. You know, if they handle it well, it's an actual good game. They released on actual platforms like Steam. Cards aren't too hard to get, game isn't too pay to win. They add fun content to it, they keep the card pool up to date. Yeah, maybe then Yu-Gi-Oh! Will start growing and will become very huge. If they mess it up, I could see Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally dying. Like, people say this Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying thing every time, but here's the thing. OCG, Japan, already moved on from the TCG, from the actual normal card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s was a thing, but there's coming a new anime like 7s. They're basically saying, yeah, we'd rather have 7s over an actual card game. They basically abandoned Yu-Gi-Oh! I would be surprised if some kind of B company is actually designing cards right now, which, well, maybe might explain a few things, but yeah, to me it feels like Konami has given up on the actual card game. Master Duels might be a second chance at them seeing money and being like, hey, wait, maybe we do need to support this Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. It's tough. In 5 years, I think it's a 50-50. Either the game will have grown a lot due to master duels taking off and YouTube content creators like Penguin, Z0, Moist Critical, and other popular YouTubers jumping in and trying it out. I've heard rumors, I believe TSM Myth was interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. I could imagine like a big few YouTubers jumping on it, people that feel nostalgic for the game, enjoying it. But the biggest issue remains that we don't have any anime going on. Anime was one of the main ways to get people in the card game, at least a decent way to get new players, completely new players to the game, which, well, no longer exists. Vriends was the last one. Just a 50-50. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Either has a good chance to grow, or it will outright die. I think it's going to be one of those two. I don't think the game will stagnate at all, but yeah, we'll see. XYZ Dorek asked, do you go to locals or do you like to play competitive? As I've announced in a community post, I'm picking up cards again. Planning to go into locals soon when restrictions in my country are a bit less harsh. I didn't play since early 2020, physically at least. So yeah, I'm planning to go to locals again. Do you like to play competitive? No. I'm not a fan of competitive games in general, or at least playing competitively. I don't think games are meant for that. Especially when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is... people get upset when you say this, but it's RNG based. It's very, very RNG based, you know? You can be the best player you can be, but if you're playing something like Cosmo, Blue Eyes, best quick Monarchs, quick few best meta examples, can't really think of any concrete right now, maybe Tritron. It depends on the luck of the draw if you even get to play in the first place. Doesn't matter how good of a duelist you are, if you break, you lose. Break a few times on the day, congratulations, you're in top. It depends too much on RNG, the prize pool isn't there. I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Prize pool in general is bad. The fame also isn't really there, like who even remembers who topped last YCS? Who won the last YCS? Quickly, answer it in the comments. You can't because you don't remember. So forgettable. There's no glory, there's no real prizes, I don't see it being worthwhile. Yeah, I don't think... I don't play competitively because I just don't feel like it has any kind of purpose. It serves no purpose whatsoever. So yeah, this was my Q&A. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Shikami signing out. Goodbye.